Greetings. Welcome to Social Studies lesson conducted by Teacher Grace Ade. Now, first topic, we have career and entrepreneurial opportunities in social studies. In this section, we are first of all going to look at the importance of social studies to a learner. Number one, it helps learners to understand cultural diversity. Number two, it helps learners to appreciate their past. Number three, it helps learners to develop skills for personal growth and pursue future career related to social studies. Number four, it helps learners to become responsible citizens and to foster on national unity. Number five, learners are exposed to different styles of leadership. Understanding the system of government helps learners to make informed decisions. Let us now look at the career opportunities related to social studies. Some of these careers that one would pursue from studying social studies in Kenya and globally are the following. We have teaching, surveying, law, archaeology, political science, among others. Secondly, we have the entrepreneurial opportunities related to social studies. Here we have activities like fishing, farming, marketing for products, among others. And we have an illustration of fishing and farming in these two pictures, where we can see someone fishing and then a group of people practicing farming. In this section, we have the assessment questions, where you've been told to match the following career activities to their description. So in the left column, we have the career activities. In the right side, we have the descriptions. So at this point, I'd expect you to match these careers to their descriptions. In this topic, the Earth and the solar system, we're going to look at the origin of the solar system. There are two common theories explaining the origin of the Earth, and these are the passing star theory and the nebula cloud theory. First of all, let us look at the passing star theory. This theory explains how a powerful star that passed by the Sun resulted in the formation of the planets. The star with a greater gravitational pull passing near the Sun pulled large quantity of gaseous materials, resulting to the formation of the Earth. And here we have an illustration picture of the passing star theory. In the next session, we are looking at the second theory, which is the nebula cloud theory. So, this theory states that the solar system originated from a rotating cloud of gas and dust called nebula. This caused high concentration of materials at the center that formed the Sun. The rotation also caused the materials to disperse on the other side, forming planets. The materials grew in size enough to exert their own gravitational pull. And then in this page you have an illustration of the nebula cloud theory. In this substrand, we are looking at the effects of rotation and revolution of the Earth in the solar system. First of all, let us start with the effects of the Earth rotation. We have difference in time, day and night, deflection of winds and ocean currents, the rising and falling of the ocean tides. Let us now look at the effects of the Earth revolution. Number one, varying length of day and night. Number two, changing altitude and midday sun. And then finally, we have changes in season. And in the last part in this strand, we have the assessment questions, which are the following. Number one, the shape of the Earth is dash. I'd expect you to fill that space. Number 2, which statement is true or false? Number 1, the earth rotates from east to west. The second part, rotation of the earth causes high and low tides. Number 3, rotation of the earth causes season. Number 4, revolution of the earth changes the position of the midday sun at different times of the year. Number 5, revolution of the earth takes place around the axis. And then finally, number 6, the main internal part of the earth are the crust and the mantle. In our strand 3, we have weather. First of all, we're going to look at the elements of the weather. We have temperature, humidity, precipitation, sunshine duration, clouds, and finally we have the wind. And then on this page, I hope you can see a picture of a weather station, and that is what we are going to talk about in our next substrand. So here we're going to look at the factors considered when siting a weather station. Number 1 is the area should be away from tall buildings, objects, or trees. Number 2, the ground should be free from flooding. Number 3, the area should be gently sloping. Number 4, the area should have a wide view or an open space. In this section, we have the assessment questions. Number 1, dash is the movement of air from area of low pressure over the high pressure zone of the Earth's surface. Number 2, grade 7 learner from Brookfield Academy visited a nearby weather station. They noticed that the site where the station is number 1, fenced. Number 2, easily accessed. Number 3, does not have trees or buildings nearby. Number 4, has gently sloping land. Give reasons for the factors above. Our fourth strand is people and population. Let us look at the theories explaining the origin of human beings. We shall start with the traditional theory. Various communities have different theories explaining the existence or the origin of human beings. In our lesson, we're going to look at the Nandi community. Among the myths among the Nandi people states that the first two people, male and female, came from the knees of a giant. When the knees began swelling and later burst, and out of the knees came two people, male and female. In our next theory, we have the religious theory. In the religious theory, we have the Jewish, Christians, and Muslims recognize the creation story as narrated in the first books, which are the Bible and the Quran. It says that the whole universe was created by God, and that God also created man, woman, and all living things, and all non-living creatures. Finally, we have the evolution theory. The evolution theory is the scientific theory, and it also explains that man evolved from different forms to become the present day man. And then in this page you have an illustration of the evolution of the man. I believe that you can see from the first picture, we can see different modifications or improvement in the evolution of the man, where on the first picture on my left side, I can see the first man on my left was walking in a bending position, and then there is an improvement until the last man walking upright, which we believe to be the present day man. Factors that prove that Africa is a cradle of mankind. Number 1, existence of many archaeological sites such as Fort Chenan, Olduvai Gorge, among others. Number 2, many prehistoric sites in Africa have early fossils of humankind. Number 3, Africa's savanna was an ideal location for the life of primates. And then finally, number 4, warm climate was good for the survival of animals. Assessment questions. Number 1, explain how the following stories explain the origin of humankind. Traditional stories, religious stories, human evolution theory. Number 2, explain 3 factors proving Africa as the cradle of mankind. And finally, number 3, give the correct order of evolution of early man from the earliest to the latest. We have Homo erectus, Homo sapiens, Zinjanthropus, Kenyapithecus, and finally Australopithecus. So in this section, rather number 3, I'll expect you to arrange the order of evolution in the correct order. Our fifth substrand is fieldwork. First of all, we're going to look at the methods of data collection. We have use of questionnaires, interview, sampling, use of secondary sources, observation, and experimentation. In this section, we have the methods of data presentation, which are the following: mapping, tallying, taking photographs, note-taking, tabulating, filling in the questionnaires, and finally, labeling samples. Methods of data analysis. We have calculating mean, or mean is also called the average. We have calculating mode, calculating range, and calculating median. Assessment questions. The following data was recorded by Mama Hekima on different cereals sold in a shop in 1 week. We have the upper part of the table and the lower part of the table. On the upper part of the table, we have the items, and in the lower part, we have the quantity in kilograms. These are the items. We have maize, beans, cowpeas, nuts, millets, sorghum, and peas, and their respective quantities in kilograms. So here are the questions coming from that table. Number 1, what was the average mass in kilograms sold in Mama Hekima's shop? And then part 2, calculate the medium of the data recorded, the mode of the data recorded, and finally the average of the data recorded. Strand 6, social organization of selected communities up to the 1900. So we have some selected communities which are going to look at their social organizations, and these communities are the Zulu, Ogiek, and the Asante. Let us start with the social organization of the Ogiek up to 1900. Number 1, they believed in the existence of a supreme being called Turet and offered prayers to him, seeking for help. Number 2, their clothes were made from skins of animals slaughtered. Number 3, they believed in the existence of ancestral spirits. Number 4, the smallest unit of life was the family. Number 5, they hunted and trapped wild animals. Number 6, honey was their staple food. And then finally, number 7, they circumcised both boys and girls at puberty. Social organization of the Zulu. Number 1, polygamy was common among the Zulu. Number 2, The king controlled all the social affairs and was the biggest social figure. Number 3, the Zulu worshipped many gods, and the most important was the god of war. Number 4, they were subdivided into different social classes. And then finally, number 5, initiation ceremonies were performed to mark the entry into adulthood. Social organization of the Asante. Number 1, the Asante were organized into clans. Number 2, marriage between members of the same clan was prohibited. Number 3, inheritance property was matrimonial. Number 4, the ancestors mediated between God and people. Number 5, the society was divided into different social classes. Number 6, the community was bound together by the golden stool. And then finally, number 7, there was an annual festival, the Odwira festival, which was held at Kumasi to honor the ancestors. Let us look at the similarities in the social organizations of these three groups, which are of course the Ogiek, Zulu, and the Asante. Number 1, all were organized into clans. When you look at all these organizations, you could see that organization into clans was a common point, so that is one of the similarities. Number 2, all believed in the existence of supernatural being, which of course was God, because looking at the Ogiek, we saw that they had a God, the Zulu, and the same applied to the Asante. And number 3, they all practiced marriage. Number 4, they all had ceremonies at different times of the year. And then finally, number 5, they all believed in the existence of the ancestral spirits. The last part of this strand are the assessment questions. Here we have 4 questions, and they are as follows. Number 1, the Ogiek believed in one supreme being called dash. You'll fill that space. Number 2, Zulu fell under the dash people who were part of Bantu speaking people in South Africa. Number 3, the annual ceremony among Asante was called the dash, while the ceremony for the Zulu community was called the dash. And then finally, number 4, Brookfield Academy visited cultural buildings at Mau. Which of the following tools does not belong to the Ogiek community? We have Ogiek hunter, Ogiek honey, golden stool, and the beadwork. The last question, take true or false statement about the social organization of the Asante community. A, they conducted annual Odwira festival. B, the supreme god was called Onkulukulu. C, the Asante was a patriarchal society. And finally D, they used Akan drums for communication. Strand 7, human diversity and inclusion. In this section, you're first of all going to look at the definition of diversity and inclusion. Diversity. Diversity recognizes that though people have things in common with each other, they also have difference in many ways. And then inclusion is where those differences are seen as benefits and where perspective and differences are shared, leading to better decision. Let us look at personality attributes that differentiate us. We have authenticity, confidence, curiosity, diligence, empathy, generosity, honesty, integrity. And in this table here, I also included many other points, and the points are many that we can't exhaust them, so I'd expect you to add yours onto this list. Desirable characteristics. So the desirable characteristics are these attributes or characteristics that an individual may have that may seem to attract others to this person and makes this person to be positively outstanding. Let us look at these characteristics. We have being hardworking, and I'm sure you love hardworking people instead of lazy people, and everyone will do that. We have honesty, integrity, being caring, respect, and then onto this other table we have many other more, which include willing to take risks, creativity, self-reliance, ability to adapt, motivation to excel, leadership, persistence, intelligence, capacity to inspire, values, talking, initiative, and being goal-oriented. Undesirable characteristics. These are negative characteristics that people may portray and which are not very attractive and may make someone to be annoying. And here are these characteristics. We have manipulative and deceptive practices. Number two, one who is preoccupied with himself or herself. Number three, the perfectionists. Number four, negative and gloomy. Number five, being quick to judge. Number six, carelessness. And then finally, number seven, we have personality defect. Assessment questions. Number one, qualities that differentiate the character, action, and attitude of a person from one another is called dash. Number two, Mwenda is a talkative person, freely interacts with others, and loves being at the center of attraction. Which personality attribute does she have? Number three, explain how the following personality attributes shape the societies. We have extroversion, aggressive, introversion, and finally we have openness to experience. We have come to the end of our lesson, and I hope you enjoyed the lesson, and I hope that you have learned something new that you didn't know before from this lesson. I wish you happy holidays and Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Bye.